What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be a monthly check-in, Aries. With all the planetary stuff that's going down here, we just want to check where you're at and, just kind of see what's to come for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Aries. Now, Aries, with this spread, I'm going to be going till Higher Self says stop. We're just going with the flow. And just so you all know, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then lastly, the decks that I'm working with. This one is the Tarot of the Divine deck. And then the other one is the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle deck. And I'll include links for these and other decks that I like down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Aries. But look at you, Aries. I feel that with this energy popping up here, you got the the Prince of Cups, the King of Wands upright, and then you got the Hermit in reverse here. And I feel like that for some of us. I feel that this is a good time for you. If you've had any ideas that you've been cooking up right now, Aries, you've been just like, or even if you've had something that you've been actively working on, or you have something that you've been thinking about, Aries, I feel like that with this little combo here, that it's time to start, to let that light shine, to let to start getting that ball rolling, or at least start getting, maybe if we've got something cooking up, but maybe we don't have like a date put on it yet, slap a date on it, Aries, let's really commit to this thing. Because I feel like, the Page of Cups is very imaginative energy, it's very creative. And I feel like that this is something that, if you've had this idea, kind of sitting on for a while, we're thinking about, because, maybe we're thinking, let's say, for example, if this is like a business, if you've been, let's say you're like weighing the pros and cons, you're really excited, but it's just like, we want to make sure that we've covered all our bases here. I'm with that, but try not to get to a place where we're overthinking this, because I feel like, this opportunity will go away for you, Aries, but I feel like, when the energy's kind of like, when the energy's kind of lining up like this and things start to kind of make sense, because here's the thing, Aries, we're getting into this place where, Saturn just made a shift about a week ago, and then we have your ruler Mars is going to be moving into Cancer on the 25th of this month. So especially, I feel like that, we want to find a balance too, but I feel like actions are going to be a little more kind of emotion driven at this time with that shift that's going down. So, but we can play that to our advantage, Aries. It doesn't have to be just like where it's like something like when we get caught up in the feelings, we're just like aggressive. No, I feel like that this is also, if you've got something like any kind of desires or anything that you've been that you've been nurturing, that you've been wanting to just get out there, then, this is, I say, go for it. Really start to think about getting that implemented. Now for some others, I feel like that with this Hermit popping up in reverse, that this may be asking for us the rest if we don't have anything that we're cooking up right now. And this doesn't necessarily have to be just like business ideas. This could be even just like, are we doing any sort of like creative hobbies, or any sort of things that allow us to express ourselves. So, whether that could be from gardening to I don't know, maybe even like running, working out, or maybe making music, maybe graphic design, whatever that looks like for you, Aries. Are we just doing some things that raise our vibration and that we're passionate about? Because this is a time too, Aries, if we are one, if we're doing things that are lowering our vibration, that aren't quite resonating with us, or our hearts aren't quite in it as we thought that, as we maybe expected, this is a good time to kind of reevaluate some things right now, because we have a lot of cycles that are getting ready to start up here. We got some things ending, so this is a good time to reflect, to celebrate as well, because we're not just focusing on, what we're letting go in losses, but, really thinking too, what do you want to do for these next couple cycles? Things are going to start shifting up here, the next, March is going to be a really busy month. So, this is the time, and especially with your birthday season, like what, a week away, let's do some things. Let's welcome in the spring, Aries, with some new creative ideas and some, doing some stuff that raise our vibration, and which will ultimately raise the vibration of others, Aries. Because that's the thing, when I'm thinking with this King of Wands, when we pursue our passions and we're doing stuff that makes us happy, it starts small, Aries. Maybe this is you doing something that you love may inspire like a family member or a friend, and then they start doing it, and then it inspires their friends, and then look at that, you're a trendsetter, trailblazer, setting a prime example of how to live this life to the fullest. So, Aries, enjoy all of the abundance that you have. And this is, I feel like, a good time too, Aries, to exercise, not that I don't feel like that you're not grateful for what you have, but just like an extra kind of, if we haven't taken any time to just look around and just like appreciate all the stuff that we've had. Take a moment for that, Aries. And too, Aries, when I'm thinking with this energy, with the Hermit, also just make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. When I was thinking about, even like moving the body and stuff, because the Hermit is Virgo energy, and Virgo can be a sign, of like routines and of health care. And so, one, I feel like, getting some fun, healthy, creative routines in the mix might help some of us, but also too, and this isn't medical advice, Aries, but just, making sure, I feel like it's always good to just kind of check in with the, with mind, body, and soul, and just to kind of see where we're at, and making sure that everything feels right, and that as everything is vibrating at its highest, at its most efficient frequency. And if not, how can we make some adjustments? So let's see what else we got going on here, Aries. Oh, maybe. Okay, there we go. It's like, can I grab the cards? Maybe that's it. Oh, there's my girl. And Aries. Yeah, this is a time interesting, because you got Aries, you got my girl in reverse, the Empress, and then we got the Death card in reverse here. In Aries, this is something that, be mindful of. Again, if there are any areas in our life where we feel like we haven't been taking care of ourselves, because the Empress is she embodies a number of things, but in order for her to tap into any of that abundance, she has to take care of herself, especially when we're going through these transformations here. You got the Death card and the Hermit in reverse here. For some of us, I feel like that it's getting a game plan. How do I want to put this? I feel that this energy is asking, for some of us, Aries, to just look at some areas in our lives again, that are in need of some changing. If there's, let's say, if we've noticed that, if cigarettes are our thing, if there's something that we've been thinking about as far as like, quitting that, or maybe we've noticed that maybe we've been drinking too much, or maybe things have gone a little, maybe we've dipped into, however this is looking, Aries, if there's something that, are we feeling stiff, how's our mental health doing? Have we been like, has it been kind of like in a depression kind of as of late? And if so, what's going down? How are we feeling energetic spiritually? Have we gotten in touch with, have we gotten outside, Aries? Have we gotten, look at this Hermit venturing through the forest, and the Empress is very earth like energy. I'm just thinking of the Taurus side, because she rules both Taurus and Libra. And I feel like in order to get that balance, Aries, have we been getting outside, getting in nature, again, getting some fresh air, some fresh food, just this is the time. Like really, Aries, take this month to really get some, I feel like some healthy routines in action here. And again, this is not saying that I don't feel like you're not already living a healthy life, Aries, but it's that, is there somewhere else that we may need to add on to, or is there something in our routine that we're already doing that we can possibly even refine, maybe making it a little more efficient for us, So I do feel like, but here's the thing, Aries. When we resist change and we ignore the signs and ignore like the signals from the body and the mind and all of that, this is not me trying to scare you, but that does catch up with us over time, and it really does. If we neglect that side of us, Aries, anything that is needing that nurturing energy right now, it affects our abundance in the long term. It's not to say that you're not going to be abundant, but it's not going to be as rich as the Empress intends it to be. You know what I mean? She can only apply as much abundance as we make space for. And if we're clinging to old things, that it's like trying to water your garden, but there's just garbage all over the place. You know what I mean? It's just like you try to sprinkle that, like, sure, maybe something will grow out of that, but it's not going to be the fullest, luscious, garden that again, that the Empress wants, that inner Empress wants you to have there. And the Empress energy has been going around quite a bit, Aries, and this is something where, and I mean, not in just like your readings, but just like in other readings that I've noticed, and even like other people's readings, the Empress has been busy, and I feel like that this is a time to really, and I feel like for everyone, to make sure that everything, and Aries, this too. This can be not even just like our vessel here, checking your environment as well. How's your space looking? Because sometimes that can keep our vibrations kind of low too. If we're living in a lot of, and that's not to say, living, if our space is not working for you, Aries, however that looks, getting things back in order. How do we liven stuff up? Do we have dishes that have been sitting in the sink for a while? Let's knock those out. We got laundry that's piling up. Let's get some of that stuff. Do we need a sweep, vacuum, whatever? Maybe make the bed. Whatever it is, Aries, I feel like that this is a time, there's no such thing as too much self-care, just be, or at least taking some time for just some extra self-care during this time, because this is just going to be, I mean, me personally, Aries, I'm feeling the shifts, and we're just getting started, so it's being mindful and cleansing your space, your energies, all of that, just being very self-aware, during this time here, and being honest with yourself too, Aries. That when I'm thinking about this stuff, that maybe there are some things that we are clinging to that may be preventing the growth that we're going through. Being real with yourself, Aries, and if you notice that whatever that may be is bringing you down, how do we take steps towards letting that thing go? Maybe we can sub out while we're working out that thing, we can work in something new to kind of counteract, so something to balance out there, Aries. Let's get some more. All right, you got the Six of Wands in reverse here, Aries, and then we got the Two of Cups. And some of us may not be feeling, while we're going through this stuff, you may not feel like this is a good time for you right now. We may be kind of, Maybe for some of us, we may be kind of in it, you know, like whatever this transition that's going down here. Maybe this is something that I feel like we're trying to make sense of right now. We're trying to harmonize again. But Aries, this is like, you know, let's say if we're going through this right now, we're not feeling like that there's going to be that big win on the other side. It is coming, Aries, because here's the thing. Even when I think about reversals, like sure, you know, they may pop up in reverse, you know, intent, you know, and at this moment, you know, if this is resonating with you. But the nice thing about this too is that these are the energies that you have to work with to shift this thing around. This Empress energy is all yours whenever you're ready to tap into it. It's just making moments for that, making moments to get into things that help you, that harmonize you, Aries. And I really feel like that this is, you know, this Page of Cups is going to be a big factor into that. Making some extra moments for ourselves to do some things that allow us to kind of check out from the stuff that's going down, Aries. And again, what I mean by that is, you know, just like picking up like just like a little hobby, you know, something so that you're just not always in like the rat race that is life, you know, because it can just be, you know, it can just be, we can be so on all the time, you know, with, you know, what's going on in the news, with, you know, maybe like our studies, with maybe like our job, maybe with our families. And it's just like, we don't have, it's like, when do we have time to just like disconnect from everything and just be with our own thoughts for a little bit, you know, and not have the influence of just like anyone around, and just to sort of find that connection again, you know, with you and your higher self, you and God, Buddha, Jesus, however we connect to the source. And here's the thing too, Aries, if we're in like a relationship or something, you know, I talked about this with the love readings, you know, if you need some time for you, you know, during these periods, during this transition, because when we're going through these spiritual growths and these metamorphoses, where yes, it's nice to have our family, it's nice to have a foundation, our friends and whatnots, but where we also need to understand, as you know, when it comes to like soulmates and soul families and things, that where yes, we will grow as a tribe and that celebration will come, but first we have to harmonize within sometimes, because we're all on an individual journey as well as a collective one. But in order for us again to do for the collective, you know, and do for the soul tribe, our loved ones, our, you know, soul family, we got to start here. We got to make sure our soul is in harmony and is vibrating at its highest, you know, and that we're in Aries. That's not to say that if you're not at your highest already that you're never going to get this. It's putting the energy towards that, you know, working towards that, you know, towards that goal. You know, that's the whole point of the journey, to get to the highest vibration that we can, so by the end, you know, we can say that we've done it, you know, we've celebrated, we found our abundance, you know, we've gone through the transformations, and now we're feeling like royalty. But yeah, this is going to be a time. This is an adjustment period, Aries, and it may feel, you know, maybe something, you know, some of these feelings might be a little unknown, maybe some to us, you know, we may be maybe because it's, you know, maybe it's foreign, possibly, that, you know, maybe that's where the resistance or the discomfort might be settling in. But it's just that I feel like, you know, we're just adjusting, Aries. It's just like imagine it like, you know, when you've transitioned from like one workplace to another, even if this is something that, even like a position that you already know, you know, there's still that adjustment period, you know, where you gotta, you know, where we're learning everyone that we're working with, and, you know, we're possibly learning our clientele, you know, where's the bathroom, where's our office, you know, it's I feel like it's energetically, that's what's going down this month, you know, we're just recalibrating a little bit. But it's going to be beautiful, Aries. And you know what? This is too, again, because the Two of Cups, I love this card, because this is the Empress, Venus, in Cancer. And that's such nurturing energy there, Aries. So take care of yourself. Just, and even too, I'm thinking about all these cups. Stay hydrated too, Aries. You know, make sure that we're you know, drinking plenty of water, and, you know, just all the stuff. This is just a good time to just get some new routines going in, you know. There we go. All right, we got the Five of Wands here, Aries. More. And the Five of Wands, you know, I feel that this is something that is going to take, you know, this adjustment, you know, and maybe getting in these routines and, you know, implementing this new stuff here. It's going to take practice, Aries, and it may feel like something where you may feel at conflict at first. You know, it may feel like, you know, you're when you're first trying to find your groove. You know, it's strange sometimes, you know, when we're working in new stuff, you know, it's like, well, we know it's good for us, but sometimes it takes us a moment to get into that groove. But I do feel like that, Aries, if when we just kind of relax with it, you know, at first, you know, whatever this is that we, you know, that may be needing our attention, you know, when we start focusing on that, you know, we might feel, yeah, again, a little discomfort at first. It may feel a little awkward, you know, because it's an area that we haven't focused on maybe in a little bit. But again, it's just like a muscle, you know, with this area, you know, let's say if we're lacking in spirit, you know. Well, I'm about to give a physical analogy, but stay with me. It's just like if you haven't used, you know, lifted weights with your upper body. It's not to say that you're not strong, but there is a cap. And in order for us to increase that, you know, we got to work those muscles, you know, because they've kind of atrophied a little bit, you know. But once we start working them out again, then we can start lifting more, doing more, and it gets a lot easier, Aries. So hopefully that weird analogy all made sense there. And if not, here's a different one for you. You know, actually, no, I don't have a different one. It'll come to me in a minute. But try not to force this, Aries. You know, this is something that do things that work for you. Okay, here's a better example. Because, like, let's say if we've been thinking about maybe moving the body. You know, this has been one of the examples. And let's say, you know, we tried to do like the gym membership, and, you know, it'll be perfect, you know, going on. We get like a good weekend, and then like next week it's like snowing, and then we're like, that's not going to happen. So pass. We missed today. Totally fine. Next day, downpour, pouring all day. I know the weather's crazy, but you see, it's like, you know, when we get sometimes things like that happen. You know, when we start. If we're noticing that like obstacles are like starting to get in our way that way, Aries, maybe this is something where, okay, maybe the gym isn't working for you. Maybe we try switching up a little bit. Maybe we work at home or work out at home, you know, and there are all types of tools, you know, if that's something that's resonating with us. One of my favorites, Aries, a little tool from you to me, Fitness Blender. They got a whole bunch of free videos, and then on top of they got a premium stuff, and just a whole bunch. So I've been working with them for about a decade now. I absolutely enjoy it. But just, you know, with this time, or during this time, and really just for the duration of this energy, or for this journey, Aries, you know, we want to, if we find things that aren't working for us, you know, but we know that the task, or, you know, how do I want to put this? When we're going through growth, you know, doing things that work for us, you know, not because how growth might work for one person, you know, might look for them, you know, but, you know, there are people who are devoted to the gym. They can get going. They're committed, but that's not to say that you're not as committed as they are. You just have to do it differently. And so that's where I find that it's just doing it, you know, making sure that we're doing the thing that works for us, Aries. I hope that made sense. But anymore. All right, Aries, let's get to some oracle cards here so I can get you out of here. Ooh. Okie dokie. Look at that, abundance. We start taking care of ourselves, just cards just pouring out all over the place. But first card here, Aries, you got is a commune card. And I feel like with this, you know, this is about really getting in touch with, again, like kind of like how I was talking with the Two of Cups, getting in touch with that inner you know what I mean? And really like checking in and making sure that all your energies are where you want them to be. You know, this is where are we doing stuff that are furthering us along this journey? And if not, you know, how do we adjust this thing to make it work for us? Because now we got the waxing and waning card in reverse here, Aries. And again, you know, if we're noticing that things are like throwing off our flow and they're not more, and they're, how do I want to put this? If they're throwing off our flow, and it's just like if we've noticed like this over a spell that, you know, like, you know, we keep trying, we've given it time, and it's not been working out for us, Aries. I feel like this waxing and waning is just like, hey, you've noticed that this isn't working for you. Let's switch it up a little bit, you know, how, and again, however that may be looking like for you. And I also think too, Aries, with this waxing and waning, to be kind to yourself during these fluctuations, because, you know, it's, you know, the motivations and the energy, sometimes it changes from day to day, you know, like, you know, so there's some days we're like, yes, you know, I'm ready for, you know, self-improvement, you know, I'm going to, you know, do all this, you know, health routines, and then I'm going to, let's switch back over. It's like, you know, I'm going to do all these, go get all these health routines, and then I'm going to go get in touch with nature, and we got all this energy the first week, and then like the following week is just like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. Like, oh, I got to cook my meals again. Like, you know, Aries, these energies fluctuate, and it's all part of the healing process. You got the heal card in reverse as your last card. And, you know, that's, you know, life, it's like that, you know. There are times when, you know, we feel like we're on a groove, and then a curveball happens, and then we kind of get knocked off there a little bit, and it's just like how do we, like, we were doing so well, like what changed? And, you know, the thing, you know, Aries, is that life, it's about constant adjustment. You know, it's like once we get a groove, then life is like, okay, perfect, now here's the next chapter, here's the next cycle, and it's just like, crap, more healing. But Aries, you know, I feel that as long as we're going towards that direction, you know, because these changes and things like that, they're not meant to keep us down or to try to keep us, or, you know, life doesn't throw situations and curveballs at us to prevent us from healing. If anything, it's showing us just like, hey, this is another area. You did great on this last thing here. Now we have something else that, while you were focused on that, something else was discovered. And now we got a new thing that we need to balance out here, Aries. And again, you know, to not let that, you know, come across as like, you know, arduous, or, you know, something that was like, well, F it, I'm over this healing stuff. I'm just going to vibe low. And in Aries, not that I feel like you would think that, but you're in a judgment-free zone. You know, I'm gonna kick it with you because the healing process looks different. Sometimes we're amped, and then there are other days like we can't be bothered, and that's fair. You know, I'm thinking with the moon, I'm a Cancerian. Feelings wax and wane, and that's totally fine. It's, you know, when you're feeling in that moment, or, you know, where you don't want to deal with that, be with that for a minute, you know, accept that. If that's going to be the day, okay, but then, you know what, we get right back up again tomorrow. You know, we try again, and we be adaptable, you know, because it's all part of the growth process, Aries. So, and look at what you're going to become at the end of this, and you know how I feel about the Empress. Come on now. So yeah, Aries, I feel like there's some good stuff, I feel like, coming for you this month, you know. But I think I'm going to leave that there. And hopefully so that made sense and some resonated with you, because I tell you, with these planetary shifts, yeah, even I'm noticing like my energy is different, you know, but we're all growing, Aries. But if something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this. You know, this is something that it's going to be very important, again, for us to make sure that we're taking care of our energies and, you know, doing things that can get us in a place of, you know, if we're noticing that we're, you know, with everything that's going down, you know, if we feel a little stressed or something like that, doing some things and taking a little time to, you know, creating little pockets of like me time to just do, you know, maybe color, draw, journal, again, like whatever that looks like, you know, just self-care this month. Absolutely. And then If you haven't already, subscribe and then hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then social media, I'm with everything that's going down, like there's just been a lot of my, I feel like that's usually the story. There's a bunch on my plate right now. I'm going to be, actually for your birthday season, I got a lot of stuff, new things that I want to unroll on the channel here. Nothing too crazy, but just like some add-ons. But I am, however, maybe not so active on Facebook and Instagram at the moment. But this app, Insight Timer, this is where I've been trying to, kind of get it like a group kind of built up there. It's a meditation app that I've been working with for like about 5-6 years or so. It's we're not in any kind of partnership with it or anything, but I'm a fan of, if you got tools that work for you, Aries, we should share this. That's how we raise the vibration, But it's a free app. You can do, there's a payment or, a premium if you want to, but I created a group on there called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration, and it's just a little spot right now where, just to drop like a positive affirmation, whether it be yours or something you happen to come across, maybe on a bus or in a book or on the internet or something, and just like drop little nuggets of positivity or maybe like an encouraging message or, something along those lines. There's just anything to just kind of help raise the vibration. And then down the line, I'm glad the Empress is here because I want to do a little segment, as the group grows, do like maybe different meditation groups and call it like, self-care with the Empress, meditating with the Empress or something along those lines, But that's where I'm at right now with social media. So come on over, I'm on there daily, I'm dropping affirmations there all the time. So meditate with me. Thanks for meditating with me. I would appreciate it. And then lastly, if you got any Cancer in your placements, or I guess that's just it. But check your chart. If you have any Cancer in your placements, come check out my channel or my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here. Look at you. So enlightened. You got the Hanged Man in reverse here. And then let's see for your oracle card. Oh, bringing that heat. You got the Fire card. Girl, where you going? Look at that. So much heat, even the Empress fell over. But Aries, this is why rest up right now, because things are going to start, I feel like, going to start heating up for you soon. Abundance is going to be coming. And believe it or not, when we're taking these times to kind of, when we're self-caring and doing some like creative stuff and, just taking some me time, you never know, Aries, what kind of ideas may pop up or what kind of new perspectives, or who knows, what'll happen. And even too, even just like thinking about how Sleeping Beauty's just like, because it's a Sleeping Beauty in this deck, if how she's just kind of resting here, Aries. I find that when we take this moment and heal and rest up, that it all just starts to make sense. Inspiration will kind of, it'll kick in, and then you'll have that passion, that fire again, like it. And again, it's not that this heat dies, it's that sometimes it needs to be diminished a little bit to kind of heal and to rest up a little bit before this new surge. So I feel like, Aries, let's get ready to bring in the spring, let's do it, rest up, because it's gonna be a go time here soon. So all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Aries. So where'd my mouse go? Stay safe out there. And just take time. And take this time, Aries, raise your vibration, raise it through the roof. Hit up the Empress on the way there. And I will catch you on the next one later.